My video response to tasting Nitch and the most frequently asked questions. Let's go in order. I've got them down. How did I get into beer geeking and why beer? I got into beer geeking because I really fell in love with beer properly. Well, I actually played for a village rugby club. I lived in the countryside, in a little village, just up the road from where I lived. I had a rugby team I played from, and they used to get barrels of real ale in, or what you would class as craft beer. They called it real ale in them days. And they would get one and tap it off on Friday night. Saturday we'd hit the play a game of rugby and go afterwards and have a few beers. And we got invited to do some brewery tours and try some unusual drinks, and I absolutely loved it. And there were some favourites that don't get made no more. Absolutely glorious. So that's why. And then of course I started homebrewing around the same time as well, just after. So, and the hops weren't available that they are now. You could not get the variety that you do now, so you played around. But I did enjoy it. I just love playing around with beers and ingredients. Excuse me. What's my favourite beer? Oh, that's a hard question. Beers that surprise me, commercial beers this is, surprise me. Ones that are interesting. For instance, the Scarborough Fair I had and I did a review on recently. That, it was bitter as an IPA, but it was the softness of the bitter and how the attack wasn't, it was just a gentle climb. It was a wonderful beer. Absolutely surprised me. I would be drinking a beer now, but I've got to go driving in a minute, so good old coffee. But I suppose really, in all essence, my favourite beers are the ones that the homebrewers sent to me. Other homebrewers on YouTube. And because those drinks have been crafted with their time. You know, some are great, some aren't so great, you know, but it doesn't matter. I will drink them, review them, if they want me to review them on camera or not. A person's taking time out of his life to create something. And I know they do that with the commercials, that's their job, but the homebrewers tend to do it because it's their passion, and you can taste their passion. And I think that's the difference. So yeah, so when a homebrewer sends me a beer, you know, he wants me to review it, I'll review it. But I'll enjoy it, even if it's not the greatest beer I've ever tasted. But I'll enjoy it because I know he's put his time and effort into that and his passion. And you can't ask for no more than that. So that's my favourite beers, the ones that I get sent and it's come from someone who's put their soul into it. And that's the same as anything, I suppose. If you had one beer forever, what would it be? Well, I would have answered your Nuki Brown. Newcastle Brown Ale, the famous Blue Star. But Heineken have taken over that brewery and screwed it up. So, there ain't no more. If there was a beer I was to drink for the rest of my life, it would probably be a porter. And that's because I like the malt base, the backbone of beer. I believe that you've got your hops, you've got your water additions, you've got all this other stuff, but with the porter you get a bit of everything. And I just love that chocolate coffee bitterness, and I love that roasted notes that hit the back of your cheeks. To me, that's and the layered complexity. To me, that keeps me interested. But drinking one beer for the rest of your life could be a bit boring. How much do you drink and how do I stay healthy? Well, I used to drink quite a bit. So, I mean, I used to go out 7 o'clock, start drinking, and then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next morning, so, oh, okay. And, yeah. I didn't used to get drunk. I never used to get drunk. It was just all night, but... And how do I stay healthy? Well, I've put on a few pounds because I had a bad accident a couple of years back and screwed my knee up, so I can't do a lot of activity jogging wise. But I work hard, and I've got my, now I'm back in the UK, I've got my allotments which take time, a lot of digging. You know, gentle exercise. I'm getting old now. I mean, I used to be a diver. I used to be fit. I was in the Marines and I was a diver. You know, I'm past keeping too fit. I've always enjoyed my life, and that's it. I'm enjoying it. The body just can't take it no more. But I'm healthy. You know, I'm not struggling. I've seen a lot more people who are worse off than me. Are you an alcoholic? Ew. Am I an alcoholic? I mean, someone who enjoys a drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic in strength, you know, it doesn't have to be blow your head off. Super duper beer or a cider or a mead. So no, I think an alcoholic is one that's addicted to the drug of alcohol. An alcoholic is someone who needs a drink to get through life, or they've ended up in that position because they've turned to drink because of their life. And well, I do enjoy a good drink. I get drunk, I get happy, so no problem. What's your favourite ingredient? What's my favourite ingredient? Well, it's not so much beer actually, but you can get it in beer. Because one of my favourite types of beer is a braggot. Oh, love them, absolutely love them. Especially the winter braggots. There are some, you can do a summer braggot. It's more of a pale ale and a light mead mix. And that has to be blended well for a summer braggot to work. But I love the winter braggot. It just fills you with loads of complex flavours. So honey, and obviously I'm known for my meads. I'm making meads, ciders, piments. So many drinks you can make with honey. It's nature's best sugar there is. Better than your table sugar stuff. It's so much better. So my favourite ingredient is honey, and as I've kept bees, I hope to be keeping them again. Got to pay out a fortune for a... Well, I'm on the swarm list, so if there's a swarm gone wild, I've got an empty hive set ready. So honey's my favourite ingredient. It takes a lot of skill and patience to learn to brew with honey. I think a lot of people are starting to realise that your beers you can knock out 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. If it's an imperial stout, 6 months. But with honey, you need to have patience. You need to have care and passion for it. And I just love honey. It's just one of those things I love as an ingredient to brew with. And it's quite an art to brew with honey. Whether it be a mead, braggot, cider, or even a honeyed beer like a summer ale or a golden. I'm doing a gold IPA at the moment, and I'll put it on honey. I'll just put a pound of honey into it just to give it a little extra. So that's my summer IPA with that. Do you brew? Oh yeah. I'll brew anything from Well, for meads, wine, I haven't done a wine for a long time. Though if you say mead's a honey wine, I class it's not. Ciders. Oh, I'm on a fruit cider. I've got fruit sitting in pectolets ready to go in. So, trying to think. Beers. I'm not a big lover of. I think if you've got a good setup, you can lager properly, and vice beer as well. You can do that, but I do like fruit beers as well. That's another little skill that a lot of brewers have a bit of problem with. Is fruit beers, you know, not lambics, but trying to balance the sugars of the fruit. It's hard to read fruit sugars because they change year season to season. So yeah, I do brew, and I enjoy the process and the science behind the brewing. Don't have to be a scientist to brew, but it's nice to be. If you can understand the science, and you don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a professor. You just take your time to learn or have it explained to you. But yeah, I like the science behind it because it's the chemistry, and it's the physics as well. You know, it's everything. It's a good all-round knowledge. It's a good thing to learn brewing. What was your first beer? Now, if you're going to say beer, you're going to say proper beer, aren't you? Because where I grew up, it wasn't proper beer back home. They didn't have proper breweries in South Africa in them days. Let's say, I think the first beer I had, I think it was a Castle. Got no idea it was a Castle. Sneaked a Castle when I was like 13. But then I tried some proper real drink. I got caught when I was 14 years old, absolutely hammered. Oh man, didn't know I was drunk the night before. But we had this white slatted fascia. And he'd come out Sunday morning to go in the garden, and he looked back and there was this streak. So yeah, I got caught when I was young. But I would turn around and say, I always say that, you know, life began when I came over to the UK in a way. So my first beer was a John Courage SIPA, which was a special Indian Pale Ale. I used to get it on tap at the local pub, and that was down to the rugby team because in the summer pre-season before the rugby season started, we used to go training. We used to go across to a pub called the Red Lion, and in there we used to go in there and have a few drinks after training. I know it's not very healthy, but it's rugby for you. Well, it was the old day rugby. It was good fun. And yeah, they had that, and that was the first drink I had. It was a John Courage Special IPA, and it was a good drink. It was a good drink. Who in the beer world do you look up to? I'm going to upset a few people, I think. I like the authors. I like John Palmer. I know he's old, but his books are old and all that, and you know, the science behind a lot of the stuff he said when I read his books is now outdated, or the knowledge has grown because the science has grown. But back in the 1980s, you know, they were good books. Another author I like is Ray Daniels. If you've not read his book, I mean, it's not so much the recipes how to brew, it's about the thinking, the science behind the brewing, how to balance flavours, how to balance your malts with your bitumen. It's an art. It's the art of brewing. It's the craft and the skill, and that's to me is like the best thing. You know, it's you learn the art and the craft like a good apprentice, and then one day you just manage to get on top of it and master it. But in the beer world, I would say most of the home brewers, because they come up with some great beers you'll never get commercially. That's probably why I don't do clones, because I can buy the bottle. It's nice, I know, it saves you money if you like a beer so much, try and find it. But I like the guys that come out of left field a bit and do something a little unusual, because they're showing their creativity and it's inspirational. Because if you're buying or cloning a commercial beer, you're getting a commercial beer and you can get as close as you can to it, but you're never going to get to it because of water. You might have the right type of malts, but it might not be that malt house that's produced them, so that slightly changes things. But I like the ones that are creative, who just sometimes brew on the fly, and you come out with a fantastic beer and you send it out and people just go brilliant. And the trouble is you haven't wrote the recipe down because it's 2 in the morning and you were drunk when you were brewing, like we do. So I hope that answers the 9 questions. There you go, Nitch, there's my response.